Alright, so you can use ChatGPT to bulk remove background from multiple images by just sending a simple message. But perhaps there is one thing that I need to clarify. This picture that you're seeing right now is not actually a PNG or a transparent picture. It is a PNG picture, but it is not transparent. So this is known as a fake PNG picture because the background is not nothing. It is actually a checkerboard pattern, which is a typical pattern that is used to represent a transparent image. But again, this is not a real transparent image. So this is what happens when you are trying to bulk process multiple images in one message in ChatGPT. Now, in case you're not familiar, in ChatGPT, they do have an AI image model. Right now, it is called GPT Image 2. It could be a new model in the future. But basically, that model has a built-in background removal tool. At least it has access to that capability, and when the user asks AI to remove the background, that feature will run. But unfortunately, that background removal is not going to run when you are processing multiple images. So eventually the image model just falls back and try to create a fake PNG picture, which is not what we want. So at the moment, if you really want to just use the pure capability of ChatGPT to remove the background of a picture, you can only do it one image at a time, like this example. This is real. This is an actual transparent image. I mean, I can just copy it and put it to Canva perhaps, and you'll see that it is indeed a real transparent image, unlike this image, which is a fake transparent image. So I'm going to show you method that you can try. Actually, there are two methods that you can try to bulk remove background from various images using ChatGPT. So there is a simple method, but there is also a smart method, which is by utilizing ChatGPT Codex. But let's start with the simple method first. I'm going to open ChatGPT. And of course, you can also use the mobile version of this platform. Now, again, we cannot rely on the built-in background removal on ChatGPT to process multiple images. But what we can do is we can use the Photoshop feature in ChatGPT. So you can open the sidebar and navigate to apps. And this is just a bunch of apps that you can connect to your ChatGPT account. And of course, we want to use Adobe Photoshop. You might open it and then you can start connecting this tool to your ChatGPT account. And that means you have to create an account on adobe.com, but don't worry, you don't have to pay a dime to actually use this feature. Now, after the two platforms are connected, or basically after you got the connection to Photoshop, you can go back to ChatGPT and start a new chat. And after that, you can upload the images that you want to process on ChatGPT/Photoshop. Okay, I have these images. I'll just drag and drop them into the chat area. And after that, you can click this plus button and then click more. Make sure that there is Adobe Photoshop, or you might also just type add Adobe Photoshop. It's the same thing. And regarding the prompt, I will use this one, and I'll put this prompt example in the description down below. Okay. And after that, the next thing that you need to change is that you have to use the thinking variation. Do not use the instant model because it's not very good at multiple tool calling. So we have to actually use the thinking variation to process each one of these images that we just uploaded. Send a message and just wait for ChatGPT to finish. Well, actually, it is not being processed by ChatGPT. What's going on right now is ChatGPT is calling Adobe Photoshop to check its tool and see if it can remove the background of these images. And in this case, it's going to process one image at a time. So if you have 7 images, then it's going to process the first image and then the second image and then third image, etc. And it's going to be really good because after all, it is Photoshop. So the background removal on This tool is actually quite subtle. It's sharp and it can handle various types of images. So it's actually a great method if you want to remove background from a picture. Now it is still processing the second image and then the third image, etc. So just be patient, wait until it finishes. Now to download the image, you can click this download button. It will generate the image. Just wait for it. It's not actually generating using AI image model. It's just processing the image to be ready to be downloaded. Now you can click download, and there you go. So we got this transparent image. I guess I'm going to upload that to Canva again just to verify that it is actually a real transparent image. There you go. It is definitely a transparent picture of a box, and I think the details is pretty good, although not the best, but it handles fur quite well. So now we are ready to talk about the second method, which is by utilizing ChatGPT Codex. Now let me just go back to ChatGPT, and it's still processing, but I can ignore it right now. So in ChatGPT, we got Codex. You can open the Codex menu right here, and this is actually a Windows app that actually not just Windows. There are also the other version for other operating systems, but you can download this program to your computer and then install it normally, and it will allow you to use the power of ChatGPT to do something on your computer. So if you have a folder that contains images, you can designate that folder to be processed by ChatGPT to remove the background automatically, and you can process lots of images at once. Now after that, after you have downloaded ChatGPT Codex, you can log into your account and you can start a project. So right here, you want to start a project, or you want to select the folder where you want to allow ChatGPT to start working on. So in this case, I'll just use existing folder, and I will navigate to my downloads folder, and I have this folder called my images. I'll select that. So it's going to only do something in that folder, unless if you tell AI to do something on a different folder, then that's a different story. But usually it will just focus on that folder and that folder only. Now, after that, the prompt that you can send is this one, and this is a very important distinction. So we want ChatGPT to set up a background removal workflow using this library. So there are plenty of background removal library or model for sake of simplicity, but usually this version is a lot more popular. It is versatile. It can handle plenty of different types of scenarios. So I think for most people, this is a good library and you can use it. Now you can copy this, and basically this is a workflow. This is a prompt that will be used by ChatGPT Codex to start doing something, to start taking some action based on our query. Now I'll just use the high variation just to make sure that it doesn't mess up anything. And let me just send the query and just wait for ChatGPT Codex to start setting up this workflow. Now, depending on your permission level, it's going to ask you a few things like, am I allowed to do this? Am I allowed to move something or download something, etc. So you might want to monitor the whole process until it finishes. But in this case, I actually already have some permissions enabled, so I don't have to respond to ChatGPT every single time. But usually if you are setting this up for the first time, it's going to ask you plenty of questions. Just follow the process. So this is just one example. I'll just click allow and submit, and yeah, just monitor the process and then see what it just asked you to do, and whether or not you want to allow it to do something to finish the task. Anyway, I'll just skip a while and I'll show you the final result. Okay, it took us 10 minutes to finish everything, building the workflow, and it's actually downloading a bunch of stuff, but finally it is done. Now, in case you're wondering, the original folder that was only have 7 images. Now we got some additional files, and these files are basically the engine to remove the background of these images, and the alt folder will contain all the images that has been removed the background from. So as you can see, now we got some transparent images, and yeah, they're not the best. Like this is a bicycle, but the wheel is actually still has the background intact. So yeah, that can happen. So it is not the most intelligent model, but it is free, it is fast, it is quite versatile, and I think it looks quite good on most images. So if the background is not overly complicated, and if there is a separation or clear subject in the picture, usually that library is good enough to remove the background from multiple images. And because that we have created this workflow, you can ask ChatGPT Codex again to rerun the whole thing over and over again. As a matter of fact, it is possible to create an automation. You can set up a schedule of automation on Codex, and maybe it can process new images every day at certain time of the day. And imagine that you want to work on a certain job or task, and then you need some transparent images. You can just run this workflow maybe every morning or every evening. It's up to you, and ChatGPT Codex will handle basically everything. So you can use the automation feature if you want to automate this whole process. But basically, the workflow has been created and it can be reused again and again. So that is actually an amazing thing that you can do to speed up some of your tasks on using ChatGPT Codex. And I would say it is a bit more versatile than using the Photoshop method on ChatGPT. So yeah, that's basically the two methods that you can try to remove background from multiple images using ChatGPT and ChatGPT Codex. And again, the full prompts should be available in the description down below. Now, if you find this video to be useful and if you want to see other things that you can do with AI, then you can subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you on my next video. I wish you a great day ahead.